Your energy is a precious resource, and just like time, it is limited. The truth is, some people are not just draining your energy, they are exhausting your purpose. These individuals may not realize the effect they have on you, but it is your responsibility to manage your inner environment. When it comes to protecting your energy, the first step is recognizing the people who drain it. Often we don't realize how much of our mental, emotional, and spiritual energy is being consumed by certain individuals around us. These energy drainers come in different forms, but they all have one thing in common: they leave you feeling depleted, exhausted, and sometimes even defeated. Recognizing them is the first line of defense in maintaining your inner peace and clarity. First, there are the constant complainers. These individuals seem to find something wrong with every situation. They focus on problems instead of solutions, and their worldview is perpetually negative. When you engage with them, it feels like a downward spiral into frustration and negativity. You may offer advice or try to encourage them, but nothing seems to change. Instead of upliftment, they leave you burdened with their grievances, as though you've been carrying their emotional load without realizing it. Their complaints may start small, but over time they add up and create a weight that's hard to shake off. Next, we have the manipulators. These people don't always present themselves as overtly negative, but their methods are subtle and draining. Manipulators use your emotions against you, playing on your sense of guilt, obligation, or pity. They are skilled at making you feel responsible for their well-being or happiness. You might find yourself constantly doing favors, bending your schedule, or even sacrificing your own needs to accommodate them. The challenge with manipulators is that they often disguise their manipulation as friendship, making it hard to see how much they are taking from you. But at the end of the day, they drain your energy, leaving you feeling used and unappreciated. Then there are the critics. Critics are never satisfied with what you do. They find fault in everything from your actions to your ideas, and sometimes even in your appearance. Their negative feedback can be subtle or harsh, but it is always persistent. Over time, these critical voices erode your self-confidence and make you second-guess your abilities. You may start to internalize their criticism, questioning whether you're truly capable or worthy. Even when you succeed, they will find a way to downplay your achievements, leaving you feeling like you're never enough. The victims are another type of energy drainer. These people always seem to be trapped in a cycle of misfortune. No matter what happens, they believe that life is unfair to them and that others are to blame for their problems. They never take responsibility for their actions, and they are not interested in finding solutions. They dwell in their problems, looking for sympathy rather than change. The danger of spending time with victims is that they can make you feel as though your efforts to help are futile. Engaging with them becomes emotionally exhausting because they are more interested in staying in a state of helplessness than in taking steps toward growth. Passive-aggressive individuals are another subtle yet powerful source of energy drain. These people don't confront issues directly, but their behavior is designed to make you feel uncomfortable or guilty. They may withhold communication, make sarcastic remarks, or subtly sabotage your efforts without ever addressing the real problem. Dealing with passive-aggressive people can be confusing because their negativity is hidden beneath layers of indirect behavior. You might spend a great deal of time trying to figure out what's wrong or how to please them, only to realize that their issues aren't about you at all. This mental and emotional energy spent trying to decode their intentions can leave you feeling exhausted and frustrated. Finally, we have the defeatists. These are people who carry a sense of hopelessness wherever they go. They constantly express doubt and negativity, dismissing optimism or encouragement as naive. No matter how much positivity you try to bring into a conversation, they will shut it down with a bleak outlook. Defeatists are draining because they make you feel like your efforts to inspire or uplift are futile. Their constant pessimism weighs on your spirit, making it difficult to maintain your own sense of hope and motivation. Recognizing these 6 types of negative people is essential because you cannot protect your energy until you identify where it's being drained. The truth is, these individuals may not even be aware of the impact they have on you, but that doesn't lessen the effect. What you must understand is that their behavior, whether intentional or not, depletes your energy and affects your ability to function at your best. Every interaction with them leaves you a little more tired, a little more frustrated, and a little further from your goals. Once you are aware of these energy-draining individuals, it becomes easier to take the necessary steps to protect your energy and maintain your emotional and mental well-being. Setting boundaries with these people is the key to preventing their negativity from taking over your life. Recognize them, distance yourself if necessary, and remember that protecting your energy is not selfish, it's essential for your growth, purpose, and peace. Setting boundaries is one of the most crucial skills you can develop to protect your emotional and mental well-being. Many people perceive boundaries as a form of rejection or hostility. However, this misconception often leads to unhealthy relationships and emotional turmoil. In reality, boundaries are essential tools for self-preservation and effective interaction with others. They create a space where you can maintain your identity, values, and peace of mind, allowing you to interact with others without compromising your well-being. Understanding what boundaries are is the first step in this process. Boundaries can be physical, emotional, or psychological. They delineate where one person ends and another begins. For example, physical boundaries might involve your personal space, determining who can touch you and when. Emotional boundaries pertain to your feelings, allowing you to decide which emotions you will share and with whom. Psychological boundaries involve your thoughts and beliefs, ensuring that you retain control over what influences your mindset and worldview. One of the most significant reasons to establish boundaries is to maintain your mental clarity. When you allow others to dictate how you feel or how you should think, you risk losing touch with your true self. Constantly engaging with negative people can cloud your judgment and make you second-guess your decisions. By setting clear boundaries, you create a mental filter through which you can assess information and interactions. This clarity helps you prioritize your thoughts and emotions, ensuring that you remain focused on your goals and aspirations rather than being sidetracked by someone else's negativity. Moreover, boundaries help establish healthy relationships. They communicate to others that you value yourself and your time, setting a standard for how you expect to be treated. When you assertively express your limits, you allow others to understand your needs and respect your individuality. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, and boundaries serve as the framework for such interactions. By clearly defining what behaviors are acceptable and what are not, you promote an environment where both parties can thrive. Setting boundaries also allows for emotional safety. When you engage with negative individuals, their toxicity can seep into your emotional landscape. You might find yourself feeling drained, anxious, or even angry after conversations with them. By establishing boundaries, you create a protective barrier around your emotional well-being. You give yourself permission to walk away from conversations that drain you, or to limit the time you spend with individuals who consistently bring negativity into your life. This doesn't mean you're abandoning those who may need help. Rather, you are taking responsibility for your emotional health so you can be present for others when they genuinely need you. The process of setting boundaries starts with self-awareness. You need to understand your feelings, triggers, and what situations make you feel uncomfortable. This self-reflection will help you identify where boundaries are necessary. For example, if you feel overwhelmed every time a certain coworker approaches you with complaints, that's a clear indicator that a boundary needs to be established. Perhaps you need to limit conversations to specific times or even find a way to redirect the conversation toward more positive topics. By recognizing these patterns in your life, you can begin to articulate what boundaries you need to set. Once you've identified the areas where boundaries are needed, communication becomes vital. It is essential to express your boundaries clearly and confidently. Use I statements to convey your needs without sounding accusatory. For instance, instead of saying, "You'll always bring negativity into our conversations," you might say, "I feel overwhelmed when our conversations focus on complaints. I would appreciate it if we could discuss more positive topics." But this approach is less confrontational and opens the door for a constructive dialogue. However, it's crucial to be prepared for resistance. Not everyone will respond positively to your boundaries, especially if they are accustomed to crossing them. Some individuals may push back, test your limits, or even resort to guilt or manipulation. This is where consistency comes into play. Stand firm in your decisions and reinforce your boundaries when necessary. If someone continues to overstep, remind them of your boundaries calmly and assertively. It may take time for people to adjust, but consistency reinforces your commitment to maintaining your well-being. Additionally, it is important to understand that boundaries are not set in stone. As your relationships evolve or your circumstances change, your boundaries may need to be reassessed. Regularly check in with yourself and evaluate whether your boundaries are still serving your needs. This adaptability ensures that you remain in control of your emotional health. In conclusion, setting boundaries is not merely a protective measure, it is an act of self-respect and empowerment. By clearly defining what behaviors are acceptable and what are not, you create an environment conducive to growth and well-being. Boundaries enable you to maintain your mental clarity, foster healthy relationships, and ensure your emotional safety. The process may be challenging, especially when faced with resistance, but remember that you have the right to prioritize your well-being. In doing so, you not only protect yourself, but also create space for more positive, enriching interactions in your life. As you cultivate this skill, you'll find that your ability to engage with others becomes more meaningful, fulfilling, and ultimately uplifting. In our journey of personal growth and development, embracing self-care is not just a luxury, it is a necessity. When we talk about self-care, we often think of physical aspects, taking time to exercise, eating healthily, or pampering ourselves with spa days. However, self-care goes far beyond these physical activities. It encompasses mental, emotional, and spiritual dimensions as well. Prioritizing self-care is vital for maintaining our energy levels and ensuring we are resilient enough to deal with life's challenges, particularly when faced with negative individuals who can drain our spirit. Self-care begins with self-awareness. To effectively take care of ourselves, we must first recognize our needs, feelings, and limitations. This involves tuning into our thoughts and emotions, understanding what makes us feel drained or revitalized. Journaling can be a powerful tool in this process, allowing us to reflect on our experiences, track our emotional responses, and identify patterns that affect our well-being. By understanding our trigger situations or people that cause stress or fatigue, we can begin to establish a self-care routine that specifically addresses our individual needs. As we cultivate this self-awareness, the next step is to actively engage in activities that nurture our spirit and energy. This may include setting aside time for hobbies, pursuing creative outlets, or simply enjoying nature. Engaging in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment helps replenish our energy reserves, making us more resilient against negativity. For instance, if you find solace in painting, writing, or gardening, incorporating these activities into your routine can provide a significant emotional boost. By making time for what you love, you not only recharge your batteries, but also cultivate a sense of fulfillment that enhances your overall well-being. Moreover, self-care includes practicing mindfulness and meditation. These techniques help ground us and create a buffer against external negativity. Mindfulness encourages us to stay present, focusing on the here and now rather than becoming overwhelmed by the noise around us. Through meditation, we can clear our minds of clutter, reduce anxiety, and foster a sense of peace. Even a few minutes of deep breathing or guided meditation can significantly impact our emotional state, allowing us to respond to negativity with clarity and calmness, rather than getting swept away in the tide of emotions. It's also crucial to incorporate physical well-being into our self-care regimen. Regular exercise, for instance, releases endorphins, which naturally boost our mood and energy levels. Whether it's a brisk walk, a yoga session, or a full workout, physical activity plays a vital role in how we feel emotionally and mentally. Coupled with a balanced diet, which nourishes both our body and mind, we set ourselves up to handle stress more effectively. The healthier we are physically, the more equipped we become to deal with the challenges that life presents, including negative influences. Another essential aspect of self-care is fostering positive relationships. Surrounding ourselves with uplifting, supportive individuals can act as a buffer against negativity. It's important to cultivate a circle of friends and family who respect your boundaries and encourage your growth. Engage in meaningful conversations with those who inspire you and seek out mentors or role models who exemplify the kind of positivity you wish to embody. These relationships not only enterprise us, but also remind us that we are not alone in our journey. The power of a supportive network cannot be overstated. It serves as a crucial lifeline when faced with negative influences. Furthermore, it is essential to let go of perfectionism. Many people struggle with the belief that they must always perform at their best, leading to feelings of inadequacy and burnout. By embracing imperfection, we can relieve ourselves of undue pressure and focus on progress rather than perfection. Acknowledging that it's okay to have off days allows us to be kinder to ourselves. Instead of striving for an unattainable ideal, celebrate small victories and recognize that every step forward is a part of the journey. This shift in mindset promotes self-acceptance and encourages a more compassionate approach to our own well-being. As we explore self-care, we must also recognize the significance of setting realistic goals. In our quest for improvement, we may set lofty goals that ultimately become sources of stress. Instead, break down your objectives into manageable steps. Setting achievable milestones allows us to track our progress and maintain motivation. Each small success builds momentum, fostering a sense of accomplishment that propels us forward. In addition, prioritizing rest and relaxation cannot be overlooked. In a fast-paced world where hustle culture is glorified, taking time to unwind is often seen as unproductive. However, rest is a crucial component of self-care. It is during moments of rest that our bodies heal, our minds rejuvenate, and our creativity flourishes. Whether it's a leisurely day off, a long bath, or simply curling up with a good book, these moments of relaxation play a significant role in maintaining our energy levels and emotional resilience. In conclusion, embracing self-care is an ongoing commitment to nurturing ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. It requires self-awareness, engagement in activities that bring joy, mindfulness practices, physical health considerations, and fostering positive relationships. By recognizing the significance of self-care, we not only fortify ourselves against negativity, but also cultivate a more fulfilling and vibrant life. This journey of self-care is not selfish, it is a vital aspect of leading a balanced and enriched existence, empowering us to face challenges with strength and grace. Ultimately, by prioritizing self-care, we create a sustainable foundation for our well-being, allowing us to thrive even in the presence of negativity. Practicing assertiveness is a vital skill for maintaining healthy relationships and setting boundaries effectively. Many people struggle with assertiveness, often feeling torn between the desire to express their needs and the fear of offending others. However, embracing assertiveness is not about being aggressive or confrontational. Rather, it involves communicating your thoughts, feelings, and needs clearly and respectfully. By mastering this skill, you empower yourself to advocate for your well-being while fostering healthier dynamics with those around you. The first step toward assertiveness is understanding your rights. Everyone has the right to express their feelings, say no to unreasonable demands, and ask for what they need. Recognizing that you have these rights is foundational to assertiveness. When you internalize this truth, you begin to shift your mindset from one of obligation and submission to one of empowerment and self-advocacy. This shift lays the groundwork for engaging in conversations where you can express your boundaries without feeling guilty or anxious. Next, it is essential to articulate your thoughts and feelings clearly. Using I statements is a powerful technique that helps you take ownership of your emotions while minimizing defensiveness from others. For instance, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you could say, "I feel unheard when I share my thoughts and would appreciate it if you could give me your attention." This approach not only conveys your feelings, but also invites the other person to engage in a constructive dialogue. It helps to maintain a level of respect and encourages open communication, making it easier for others to understand your perspective. Moreover, practicing assertiveness requires an understanding of nonverbal communication. Your body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice all play crucial roles in how your message is received. When you communicate assertively, your nonverbal cues should align with your words. Stand or sit up straight, maintain eye contact, and use a calm, steady tone. These nonverbal signals reinforce your assertive message and convey confidence, making it more likely that others will take you seriously. Being mindful of your nonverbal communication enhances the clarity of your message and strengthens your assertiveness. As you begin to practice assertiveness, it is also important to prepare for resistance. Not everyone will respond positively to your assertive expressions, especially if they are accustomed to you being more passive. Anticipate potential pushback and think about how you will respond. For example, if someone dismisses your feelings, you might say, "I understand that you may not agree with me, but it's important for me to express how I feel." This acknowledgement helps diffuse tension while reinforcing your right to assert your needs. It also prepares you to stay calm and composed in the face of challenges, allowing you to remain true to your boundaries. Assertiveness also involves the ability to say no without feeling guilty. Many individuals struggle with this aspect because they fear disappointing others or being perceived as uncooperative. However, learning to say no is essential for preserving your energy and maintaining your boundaries. When approached with a request that conflicts with your needs or values, practice saying, "No, I can't commit to that right now." Keep it simple and avoid over-explaining or justifying your decision. Remember that you do not owe anyone an elaborate explanation for your choices. By practicing this, you will find that asserting your right to say no becomes easier over time. In addition to verbal communication, it is essential to create a supportive environment for assertiveness. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and encourage your assertive efforts. Seek out relationships where open communication is valued, as this will reinforce your confidence in expressing yourself. When you engage with those who appreciate assertiveness, you create a positive feedback loop that encourages you to continue advocating for your needs. Another critical aspect of assertiveness is practicing self-compassion. Understand that you may not always get it right, and that asserting yourself can be uncomfortable. Be gentle with yourself during this process and acknowledge that it takes time to develop this skill. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and view setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than failures. This self-compassion fosters resilience and encourages you to keep trying, even when faced with challenges. As you hone your assertiveness skills, consider role-playing difficult conversations with trusted friends or family members. This practice can help you gain confidence and refine your communication style. By simulating various scenarios, you can experiment with different approaches and learn how to respond to various reactions. This preparation will make you feel more comfortable when it comes time to assert yourself in real-life situations. Ultimately, practicing assertiveness enhances your ability to maintain your boundaries effectively. When you are clear and confident in your communication, others are more likely to respect your limits. By fostering an environment where your needs are heard and valued, you contribute to healthier relationships that are built on mutual respect and understanding. The process may require time and patience, but the rewards of assertiveness, greater self-respect, improved relationships, and a more empowered sense of self are well worth the effort. In conclusion, mastering the art of assertiveness is a powerful tool for protecting your energy and setting healthy boundaries. By understanding your rights, communicating clearly, and embracing nonverbal cues, you can effectively advocate for your needs while fostering positive relationships. Prepare for resistance, practice saying no, and cultivate a supportive environment to reinforce your efforts. With self-compassion and practice, you will find that assertiveness becomes a natural part of your communication style, ultimately leading to a more balanced, fulfilling life. Setting boundaries is essential for maintaining your emotional well-being and energy, particularly when navigating relationships with negative individuals. Boundaries act as protective barriers delineating what behaviors you will tolerate and what you will not. Establishing clear boundaries is not a selfish act, rather, it is an essential practice for fostering healthy relationships and ensuring your mental and emotional health. To begin with, it's important to recognize that boundaries can take various forms: physical, emotional, and time-related. Understanding the type of boundary you need to set is crucial for protecting yourself. For instance, a physical boundary might involve limiting the time you spend with someone who drains your energy. This could mean politely declining invitations to social gatherings or leaving an event early if you feel overwhelmed. Emotionally, boundaries could involve deciding not to engage in conversations that lead to negativity or drama. Establishing these types of boundaries allows you to create a more positive environment for yourself. One of the first steps in setting effective boundaries is to identify your limits. This involves self-reflection to determine what makes you uncomfortable, stressed, or emotionally drained. Take the time to assess your feelings in various situations and recognize patterns in your interactions with others. Are there particular topics of conversation or types of behavior that leave you feeling drained? Do certain people tend to evoke negative emotions in you? By pinpointing these triggers, you can develop a clearer understanding of where your boundaries need to be established. Once you've identified your limits, the next step is to communicate your boundaries clearly. This communication should be done with confidence and respect. Using assertive language can help convey your message effectively without coming across as confrontational. For example, instead of saying, "You always interrupt me," you could say, "I'd appreciate it if you could allow me to finish my thoughts before responding." This approach expresses your need without placing blame and fosters a more constructive dialogue. Remember, clear communication is key to ensuring that others understand and respect your boundaries. As you establish boundaries, be prepared for potential pushback. Negative individuals may not react positively to your newfound assertiveness, especially if they are accustomed to crossing your boundaries without consequence. It's important to remain steadfast and confident in your decision to set limits. If someone challenges your boundaries, calmly reiterate your position without getting defensive. For example, if a friend insists on discussing a topic that makes you uncomfortable, you can say, "I've already expressed that I don't want to talk about this. Let's change the subject." Consistency is crucial. The more you reinforce your boundaries, the more likely others are to respect them. In addition to setting boundaries, it's essential to enforce them. Setting boundaries is one thing, maintaining them is another. You must follow through on your commitments to yourself. If someone repeatedly disregards your boundaries, it may be necessary to reevaluate the relationship. In some cases, you may need to limit or even cut ties with individuals who refuse to respect your limits. This can be a difficult decision, but prioritizing your mental health and well-being is crucial. Understand that it is okay to distance yourself from those who consistently drain your energy and do not contribute positively to your life. Another significant aspect of setting boundaries involves practicing self-care. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others, they also involve saying yes to yourself. Prioritize your own needs and take the time to engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. When you take care of yourself, you create a solid foundation that makes it easier to establish and maintain boundaries. This self-care can take many forms, such as engaging in hobbies, spending time with supportive friends, or simply taking a moment to relax and recharge. By nurturing yourself, you build resilience, which helps you stand firm in your boundaries. Additionally, setting boundaries may require ongoing evaluation and adjustment. Life is dynamic, and as your circumstances change, so too may your boundaries. Periodically reflect on your relationships and assess whether your boundaries are still serving you. Are there new triggers that have emerged? Do certain individuals require stricter boundaries than before? Regularly evaluating your boundaries allows you to adapt to changing situations and ensures that you remain in alignment with your needs and values. Finally, remember that setting boundaries is a continuous process. It takes time and practice to become comfortable with asserting your needs. Don't be discouraged if you face challenges along the way. The more you practice setting and enforcing boundaries, the more natural it will become. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who encourage your efforts and respect your boundaries. This supportive network will reinforce your resolve and provide you with the confidence to maintain your limits. In summary, setting boundaries is an essential practice for protecting your energy and emotional well-being, particularly when dealing with negative individuals. By identifying your limits, communicating them clearly, and enforcing them consistently, you create a healthier environment for yourself. Coupled with self-care and regular evaluation, boundary setting empowers you to lead a more fulfilling life. Ultimately, setting boundaries is not only about protecting yourself, it is also about creating space for positive relationships and experiences that nourish your spirit. With time and practice, you will find that establishing boundaries becomes an integral part of your personal growth journey, enabling you to thrive in all aspects of your life. In conclusion, navigating the complexities of our relationships with others requires a deep understanding of the importance of boundaries, especially when faced with negative individuals who can drain our energy. By recognizing the types of negative influences in our lives, practicing assertiveness, and actively setting and enforcing boundaries, we create a protective shield that fosters our emotional well-being. Setting boundaries is not a selfish act, it is a necessary practice that allows us to honor our needs and maintain our energy. It empowers us to communicate our feelings and expectations clearly, creating healthier dynamics in our interactions. Remember, practicing self-care is equally important, as it reinforces our ability to establish limits and prioritize our well-being. As we move forward, let us embrace the power of assertiveness, understand our rights, and continually evaluate the relationships we engage in. Surrounding ourselves with those who respect our boundaries will lead to more fulfilling and uplifting experiences. It is essential to remember that our energy is precious and we have the right to protect it. By being mindful of the negative influences around us and taking intentional steps to set boundaries, we are not only enhancing our own lives, but also setting an example for others. Let us strive to cultivate relationships that enrich our lives, empower our spirits, and promote a positive environment where everyone can thrive. Together, we can create a world where respect, understanding, and positivity flourish, allowing us to step into our fullest potential. Thank you.